the latest name on everybody's lips is the young lad from Italy. Is it Giovanni Leoni?
Yeah. It's a great name.
It's the best name. It's an absolutely fantastic name. So just to let everyone know, if you haven't seen or heard what's going on so far, according to the report, I think Fabrizio Romano mentioned them as a target, but so did the Athletic. It was in their deal sheet transfer speculation piece this morning from like David Ornstein, James Pearce, etc. I'll read it word for word. Liverpool are interested in Parma centre-back Giovanni Leoni. They're trying to persuade the defender to move to Anfield this summer. They accept that maybe convincing him to leave Italy may be highly challenging. Goes on to say, all the Italian teams can't afford him. So if he's going to leave Parma, it looks like the Premier League's the place to go. Cause
can't afford him. I wonder what the price is then.
30 to 35.
Is that what they're saying?
Rough. That was the reporting around that mark. For what it's worth, Fabrizio Romano, who I think has contacts in Italy, you would like to guess or know.
Yeah, you'd like to think.
He said his prediction is that Liverpool will sign Giovanni Leoni. He also said he doesn't think it's a case of Gay or Leoni. It could be both. Liverpool could be doing both.
Right.
That's the setting of this one. If I mentioned this lad's career path to you so far, he's 18 years old. He was on the books of, I think they're called Padova, a Serie C team. He went to Sampdoria on loan, who were in Serie B. For them, he played 12 games, having played just 4 for Padova. They then used their buy clause, did Sampdoria pass part of the loan deal for 1.5 million, and immediately flipped him straight to Parma for 4.8 million. He then goes and plays 17 games for them. Yeah. So if my stats are right, he's played a total of 33 senior games, 16 of which were in Serie B or Serie C, or at those levels, depending on the competitions. I would be asking you for stats. Can you have any stats whatsoever on a lad who's played 33 games, in 2 of which are in for the lower league Italian side? Is there anything you can gain from numbers at all? Because the sample size, if I know anything about you, you're a man who likes McDonald's, paddle, and sample sizes. and this isn't a good sample size, Josh.
He knows me very well. Sadly not, no. There's not many numbers we can apply to this fella. Even if he was, to be fair, his team's just finished 16th in Serie A. Yeah. So, and we've highlighted many times on this show the problem with using numbers to analyse centre-halves in particular. So there's not a lot of data that you can attach to his performances so far. Having said that, I have spent a fair bit of time over the past week watching him. Really, really impressed, to be honest, based on what I've seen.
Can I ask you on that? Because if you're not following Josh on Twitter, first of all, what are you doing? At distance covered. Josh's tweet: been doing my own work on Leoni over the past week or so. Looks brilliant on the eye. Massive, fast, aggressive. I would go there. I don't mind that. But you are usually a stats-driven guy, so this is very much Josh's eye test, I guess.
Well, you say that. I try not to be. I think I failed maths, by the way, mate, in the GCSE level. So I was originally on the eye kind of analyst, if you want. So that's what I've been using. I've been using the clips and things like that to watch Leoni over the past week. He does just look really dominant as a centre-half, which is insane considering he's 18. And to make the step up virtually overnight from Serie C to A, and still look really capable is some going at the age of 18. There's a performance for anyone who hasn't seen him yet. I would recommend watching him against Napoli. He faces Lukaku, who, to be fair, is no longer, the physical specimen that he was. He's not quite as mobile as he once was and things like that. But Leoni just manhandles him. Okay. And that is some going for a player like Lukaku. I think he's about 6'5", the kid. He's really mobile. I said fast. Some people have issues with that. He's very mobile, is what I would say for 6'5". 6'5".
It's relative, isn't it? He's not going to be Jeremy Frimpong fast, but no. If he's a 6'5" unit, he's as fast as he might need to be.
Yeah, exactly. He looks relatively at home when he's getting dragged out wide. And what I really like about him as well, and you don't see as much of this with a team like Parma, who were finishing 16th in Serie A, but you can tell just watching him that he's got that proactive, aggressive nature where he'll be standing on your heels and, really tight to his man and things like that. Maybe a bit more Canate than Virgil, but he does have the physical, almost aura of Virgil when you're watching him. Don't want to get too carried away here, but at the age of 18, he looks very, very good. people have talked about, like, if he signed him, he wouldn't be ready-made, he wouldn't be able to come in and do a job immediately. I agree, but he's far readier than the typical 18-year-old is what I would say.
A couple of questions I've got first of all is, I was looking for your Twitter the other day. Someone said, like, would you take him over Gay? And I think you said no. Right now, you'd probably still want Mark Gay, which is completely understandable. Again, there's a world, by the way, where Liverpool might do both. We don't know. Maybe that could be an outlay of £70 million. I think the money's there. Even if they do go and do something up front, we'll see on that. There's still more sales. I think Liverpool's net spend at the moment is only about like 60 million quid now.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Given what they've done, and there's a chance Harvey Elliott, Costas, Timmercast both leave in the next couple of days. Ben Doak as well. Liverpool could be broke even by the time they even start to look at this. So then, if you are looking at Isak and 2 defenders, might be what they do or whatever. The money might still be there. So you'd say you'd still want Gay right now. Is that more just the experience? He's a more polished, finished player.
Yeah, I think the position Liverpool are in now with the centre half department, as good as Leoni looks, they're not really in a position to gamble, because Kwanzaa's just been sold. Virgil is always available, but he's 34 now. Canate, we know, is injury prone, and Joe Gomez is injured again. So the centre half department is looking wobbly, shaky. Yep. So I think if you're going to sign someone this summer, you ideally want someone in who's a bit of a sure bet. You know exactly what you're getting. And Mark Gay is the ultimate version of that. Like, he's just available every week. He's captain of Crystal Palace, good leader, steady, not necessarily amazing at anything, but not particularly, 7 out of 10 across the board.
I thought he was good the weekend as well.
Yeah, he is good. There was a moment where he just took the ball off, who was it? It might have just been Curtis Jones, but Curtis Jones is usually, quite confident and quite press resistant and that, and Gay just took the ball off him in the corner at one point. I was quite impressed by that. But as a steady Premier League head, he does a job for you, and I think for that reason and for the price, I think that's crucial, by the way, the price. Like Newcastle last season, I've said this a few times, Newcastle were well overpaying 70 million for him. Like, that's a joke, but if you can get him for about 40, considering the career he's already had, and he's only, I think, 24 still, might have turned 25 recently, I think it's a no-brainer.
Only going back to him, because I agree with all that, by the way, but there is, again, when we are playing fancy football a little bit here, but next summer in particular could be a season again of flux at Liverpool centre half position. Canate still hasn't signed that contract. We don't know where that's going towards yet. Joe Gomez, you would think at some point is going to leave. He might not be this summer because he's injured, but he nearly left last summer. Maybe finally next year he goes. By that point, Virgil van Dijk, 1 year left on his own deal at that point, again 35 years old. That would be the reason if you've got it to go and do both. And then I suppose that's when you look at the young lad and go, can you get him in for a year? I mean, you don't even have to play him if you want. You can loan him somewhere. You can loan him back to Parma, but you can bring him in and say, actually, we're getting ahead of ourselves here by solving a problem for the now, maybe, but also this problem's not going anywhere in a year's time. As it stands, Liverpool are going to be in the exact same position with their centre backs. There's no one there at this moment in time who you just think nailed on long term. That was Gerald Kwanzaa, and he's gone. So everyone else has got too many question marks about them. Not only for maybe the season you're okay, but going forwards, there's no long-term stability at the position as it stands. Yeah,
the thing with Leoni as well is, like, the more patient you are with him in terms of leaving it before you bid, the more he gets on other teams' radars, and the more Inter Milan get to save money for him or whatever. So you won't. That this is kind of an opportunistic approach. We know Richard Hughes said that last season. Liverpool have got the money, the player is there. It's an opportunity to bring him in because of what he could become and things like that. And he's just really good. He's worth the gamble for me. I mean, for any, generally speaking, when you're looking at, like, who might be the next gem or whatever in Europe and things like that, an easy filter to just use is like any teenager in Europe's big 5 leagues who's played more than 1,000 minutes in the league. And usually if they have, it's because the boss. Usually. It's as simple as that, mate. It's as simple as that. Lenny, you're always one. Ajax, come out with them all the time, Hasso and De Ligt and all that. But that's a really easy filter to use, and Leoni's one of them. 1,200 minutes last season in the Serie A. So, yeah, I think Liverpool could get repaid in the future by doing this one now, even though we're still spending a lot in other areas and things like that. If Liverpool did him and Gay, I think it'd be great business.
Let's talk about the strategy of Liverpool's transfers then, because I go back to it before, the sample size thing is a thing, and I agree with you, by the way, there's an eye test to be had, but we know Liverpool like the numbers, they always have done, they're a data-driven side. Edwards, Hughes, et al, whoever, whatever order you want to put it in, whoever's pulling the strings, whoever's making the final decision, I'm guessing it's Richard Hughes, with advice from Michael Edwards, of course. Is this the type of deal that you could see them doing? Because that's a lot of money. If this is a kid who's, you know, you're paying him like £5 to £10 million on to take a gamble on, you could, yeah, fair enough. But this is it's going to be, it looks like a pretty significant fee. It feels a little bit, I can't remember too many of these for this amount of money. It feels a move away from the norm for them to spend that much money on a kid who, like I say, he's got combined 33 senior appearances in his life. Yeah,
I agree. I think generally the FSG approach is to sign players who are probably under the age of 25 and they've got the career already of a 30-year-old, ideally. Like
he's gone to Inter Milan, played 100 games, and then you try and buy him off him. Yeah. That would be or maybe a Porto, for example. He goes to Porto and you're going to get him off him.
Yeah, Kanate's a perfect example. He was, you know, we bought him at 22, but he was fully established, you know, and Florian Wirtz is another example now. 22 years old, comes to Liverpool, and he's already known on the European scene. So, one thing I would say on Leoni though is, as good as he looks, if you're as certain as you can be on his talent, he's 18, he's going to come to Liverpool. Like, if you think of the worst case scenario, let's say he comes to Liverpool and he's just struggles or he's not that good or whatever, like, you sell him in 2 or 3 years and he's 21 and he's spent the past few seasons getting minutes for Liverpool, playing next to Virgil van Dijk, and he's an Italian, you know, 6'5" centre half, you're probably getting your money back. Do you know what I mean? So I think what you have to avoid, I think when it comes to Liverpool's business and things like that, what I've learned over the past few years is that Liverpool are ultimately just very flexible in the market. But what you ultimately have to avoid is the dead spots where you sign a player who you're not entirely convinced on and he's 27. Like the kind of gamble, for example, it's a little bit different I suppose, but the kind of gamble that Arsenal are taking on Gyökeres, if that flops, it is 60 million down the drain because he's already 27. So to take the chance on Leoni now, you will get your money back if it doesn't work ultimately. So I don't see too much risk attached to it, even though it is a lot of money for a kid who's only just came on the scene. Can I read you a list of names? Go on. Federico Chiesa, Mario Balotelli, Fabio Borini, Alberto Aquilani, Andrea De Sena, Daniel Padelli, Gabriel Paletta. They are Liverpool's... As soon as you said Chiesa, I knew where you were going. They are Liverpool's Italian players. Yeah. Liverpool's record of A, signing Italian players, and B, just in general signing players from Serie A, it isn't bad. It's dreadful. Like, it's dreadful. Like, of those... who's the main... Chiesa, because his song might be the best of them, but to say he scored those 2 goals in a week against United, there is nothing. When Liverpool shop in Italy for Italian players, it's been really bad. Yeah. Do you care about that? Is that something that you would have any concerns about whatsoever? There's just something that doesn't work when you sign players from a certain league or from a certain nationality. I'll be honest, I categorically do not care about it. Yeah. But one thing I've gauged over the past 24 hours since that tweet is people definitely do. I care more about he's only 18 moving to Liverpool. That for me seems like a bit of a potential concern. Yeah. But you look at the player for me, you look at the product on the pitch, you look at his skill set, and at no point do you factor in that he's Italian. And we've generally signed bad Italian players in the past. I just don't think it's a thing at all. But 18 years old moving to Liverpool, that's a little bit different. By the way, I was in Italy this summer and it is beautiful. So I can understand why no one would want to leave. That was a clip from the deep dive. To check out the whole show, head to redmenplus.com or click the link in the description.